Salutations readers, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Nkechi, and for today I'm going to talk about more 2025 anticipated releases. So I did make a part 1 for this video sometime last year, and I had like 40 plus books to talk about then, and I also now have 40 plus books to talk about for part 2. Y'all, there is a lot more books that I'm finding more and more about. Cover releases as well, so there will be some overlap from the first part because there were books that didn't even have covers yet, but I knew the titles and the release dates, and also sometimes some books also got pushed back on some release dates as well, so we'll talk about that as well. But for the most part, there's going to be a lot of new books I'm going to be talking about, cover reveals as well. We can finally talk about covers and official release dates for a lot of books, so I'll try my best to get through this pretty quickly here. I'm not going to go too deeply on as far as synopses. I don't have time to go through deep into synopsis to every single book since we have exactly 46 books to talk about. So I'm just going to get right into it, but make sure that I get myself a little bit hydrated throughout. So first up, we have at the docket, we're going to talk about books that are published in May, because I am recording this towards the end of March, early April, so I will be talking about books from May further on. So first up, we have The Manor of Dreams by Christina Lee. This one I've actually seen around a little bit a few months ago because I had some mutuals read this book and really enjoyed it. This is a queer horror speculative romance. Mexican Gothic means The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and Christina Lee's haunting novel about the secrets that lie in wait in the crumbling mansion of a former Hollywood starlet and the intertwined fates of two Chinese-American families fighting to inherit it. That definitely sounds up my alley. I really do love the cover. I'm totally here for like haunted house, Gothic stories, especially if it's gonna be like a speculative romance into it and it's queer. I'm totally here for it. It seems very interesting, and the fact that some of my bookish mutuals have read it and really enjoyed it, I'm very excited for it. It comes out May 6th. Next, The Dark Maestro by Brennan Slocumb. This comes out May 13th, and that is crime fiction mystery. So this is the same author as The Violent Conspiracy and Sympathy of Secrets. I have not read either of those books, but I still want to. And if you are familiar with this author, he does have another book coming out. This is a mesmerizing page turner about a musical virtuoso who's forced into hiding when his family runs afoul of a ruthless crime organization, and how he uses magic to bring his enemies to justice. So yeah, that sounds really interesting. Again, I've never read anything from this author before, but I've been keeping my eye out as far as the new releases from him. So I'm just like, okay. I'm quite curious about it though, regardless. And it says here that, it takes place, I think, in Southwest. It takes place in like Southeast DC, so that's really cool. I don't really read books actually featuring like around the DMV area, so I'm actually quite curious about this one. It's another mystery, and again, it comes out May 13th. Also another book coming out May 13th. One of the Boys by Victoria Zeller. This is a young adult queer contemporary book about American football, basically. I think it follows a trans girl who goes to college for football but finds out she's trans. Is it college or is it, no, this is high school. Sorry, it's high school senior going to college, trying to get to Divisional I football scholarship. Finds out that she's trans and dealing with Gory and all of that. I've been becoming more and more of a fan of American football, so I think this would be a really fun book for me to read. But also, though, if you're not much of a fan of it, of course, there'll be a lot of sports talk. It's a sports book, but I think it's going to be really more of like another queer coming-of-age tale as well. And this is definitely a perspective I'm not really familiar with as well, so very curious about this one. Very excited. It comes out May 13th. May 20th, we have The Starving Saints by Starling. This one I just kind of found out just out of the blue. This one's an adult historical fantasy horror that's also queer. So this is the author of The Luminous Dead and The Death of Jane Lawrence, books of which I've never read from before, but I'm curious about this one since it's medieval horror, and I've actually don't recall if I really ever read a book that's medieval horror. And I don't know, this one just seems really interesting. I really like the cover as well, so I don't know, this is definitely more of like a curiosity. I don't know much about it. I've never read anything from this author before, but I want to give it a shot, and I want to let y'all know that it's coming out in May. And the final book we have here for May is Amplitudes, Stories of Queer and Trans Futurity, edited by Lee Mandelo. So this one I've heard about for a while now. This is fantasy, sci-fi, speculative fiction, short story anthology. I'm not totally sure as far as like all the people who are, actually, no, I do have a list here for all who contributed, but I'm not really familiar with many of them, honestly. The only ones I'm familiar with just by name recognition is Sarah Gailey, Wenyi Lee, Sam J. Miller, and Neon Young. That's it. And honestly, I think this is very, very important, kind of like anthology right now, especially regarding, not just like even just now, but even just always, honestly, just always regarding the fact that trans rights is always in jeopardy. So it is really nice to have an anthology about being queer and trans in like the future. So very much grateful for Lee Mandelo for editing this anthology together, and I'm really looking forward to reading it when it comes out on May 27th. Now that's it for as the May releases. Now we're going to get to June. There's not really a lot for June. I only have 2 books for June. One of them is The Lure of Their Graves by Laura R. Samotin. This is the sequel to The Sin on Their Bones. I have yet to read the first book in this duology, and this is pretty much an adult historical queer fantasy where you find 2 people who are like, I think supposed to be like political enemies, and they have to maybe get married or something. I don't really remember. I'm really not sure on the synopsis on the first book, honestly, but I do own it physically, and I've been kind of curious to see like how long the series is, and apparently The Lure of Their Graves is actually the sequel and the conclusion in the series, so it is a duology. So if you've ever heard about the first book, The Sin on Their Bones, the sequel, The Lure of Their Graves, comes out June 3rd. I'm quite curious about it because I've yet to even read the first book, but I think I will enjoy the first book, so here we are with the sequel. And then the only other book I have for June is A Far Better Thing by H.E. Parry that comes out June 17th. This one's an adult fantasy. It's Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell meets A Tale of Two Cities, a heartrending fantasy of fairy revenge set during the French Revolution. And that sounded really cool to me. I was like, I've never heard of like a story that's set in the French Revolution that's a fairy revenge. Like, And I know it's the same author as The Scholar at the Fairy Door or something like that. I haven't read that one, but this one intrigued me more. So I'm quite curious about this one. And again, it comes out June 17th. Now that's it as far as the June releases. Now I do have a few July releases. First up, I have Necessary Fiction by Eloghosa Osunde. This comes out July 22nd. And this one is an adult contemporary queer lit fic. This is the author of Vagabonds with an exclamation point. I do own that book physically, and this is going to be the author's sophomore novel, which I do have an e-arc for. So I'm actually really excited to get to my e-arc for this one. It's an audacious, eye-opening exploration of cross-general queer life in Nigeria, and I'm like, say less. I'm so here for it. I love reading books written by Nigerian authors, especially when I talk about being queer and Nigerian. Like, yes, I want to read those kind of books. I'm totally here for it. I don't need to know much else about it. I'm very excited for it. It comes out July 22nd. Also coming out July 22nd, we have Love is a War Song by Danica Nava. This is her sophomore novel. This is the author of The Truth According to Ember. I have not read The Truth According to Ember yet, but I'm more excited for Love is a War Song. So this is a romance between a moose koji pop star and a cowboy. So this one I'm actually quite excited about. I've never read anything with any romance books or anything really that's actually a lie. I just realized I just said a lie. This will be my first time reading a contemporary romance featuring cowboys. So I'm very, very excited to check this one out. And I really like the cover. It looks cute. So yeah, very curious about this one, but I'm also pretty excited about it. And then for July 29th, we have Bones at the Crossroads by LaDarrion Williams. This is the sequel to Blood of the Root. I still need to return to Blood of the Root, but I want to let people know that if you are a fan of Blood of the Root or been curious about it, there is a sequel to this trilogy coming out in July. I'm not going to say much about the synopsis because I don't want to get myself spoiled, honestly. I haven't really looked much in the synopsis for it, but I'm actually really glad that this book is gaining more traction, having more in the series. So I just need to return to Blood of the Root for that. And hopefully I'll enjoy it enough so that I can read the sequel. And then finally for July 29th, and for just July section entirely, we have August Lane by Regina Black. This one, I just saw this happenstance. I don't remember if it was Instagram or maybe it was on Threads when I was on Threads briefly, but this is an adult romance. That's featuring a Black country's music star who lied about writing his only hit, risks his comeback to reunite with the woman he stole it from. So I think this is gonna be like I don't know if this takes being second chance romance because they weren't romantically involved before, but there's definitely some a little bit of tension there since we are following someone who lied about something and he's falling in love with the person he stole it from. So yeah, this one I'm just really curious about, honestly. Like, I'm not really one to read books featuring musicians, honestly, but so far I've talked about a couple books already that's talking about musicians, but I think this would be really, really cool because like it's gonna be the kind of romance that I think I'm going to enjoy this one. Like, I truly believe I'm going to enjoy it. I don't know if I'll love it, but I'm hoping to at least enjoy it. And seeing how on Earth these two people are going to even fall in love. Like, I don't even know how that's going to work, but I'm so very curious about this one. And I really like the cover too. The cover kind of got me here. So very curious about this one and looking forward to whenever it comes out and I can borrow it from my library. All right, now we move on to August. I only have 2 books for this one, and I feel like a lot of people already know what these books are coming out and stuff, but I'm going to talk about them anyways. First up, we have Hemlock and Silver by Kingfisher. This is a book that's a darker version of Snow White. Another fairy tale retelling. This one's about Snow White. This one comes out August 19th. I'm not sure if I'm going to read it, honestly. I wasn't quite a fan with Kingfisher's other book, A Sorceress Comes to Call. That one I think is Goose Girl retelling. This one I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to feel about a Snow White retelling, but I'm starting to get pretty tired though of the fairy tale retellings, so I might not check it out. But I do like the cover though. The cover is really, really nice, so it's kind of enticing me to at least try it. But I think I'm going to try it via audio though, so y'all might actually hear my thoughts on this one, whether I DNF it or not, so we shall see. And then lastly, I have Katabasis by Kuang. This one is like probably a lot of people's most anticipated release. For me, I'm very excited for it. Honestly, I really do want to read it. If I end up reading it, y'all will get a vlog because so far I have vlogged Kuang's books as far as like Babel and Yellowface, not the Poppy War trilogy since I read that before I was on YouTube. But I'm very, actually pretty excited to read Katabasis. I know there's a lot of like talk as far as like what books to read if you want to read Katabasis beforehand, and I'm not going to be doing all that. Let's be honest, you don't have to. It's a lot of suggestive reading, and I'm not going to do all that suggestive reading. But I really do love the cover, though. I mean, I'm just biased mostly because of the fact it's green for the most part, and I love me a green cover. But I just think that it looks really good, especially since it's like Dante's Inferno meets Piranesi. Like, I've never read Dante's Inferno. I've never read Piranesi yet. But as far as something like our Kuang book, I'm gonna read it regardless. So y'all definitely will know my thoughts on Katabasis whenever I get to it. And that's it for the August releases. Now, I have a lot of books for September. Like, oh my gosh, y'all. Fall 2025, I have so many books. So buckle up as far as September, October, to November. I have books for November. Trust, believe, I do. So I'm going to try my best to be quick with these September releases. First up, we have Sweet Heat by Bolu Babalola. This comes on September 2nd. This is basically, technically speaking, a sequel to Honey and Spice because we're following the same characters from Honey and Spice, but it's still a standalone because it seems like the way that the Sweet Heat is written, that you don't need to read Honey and Spice. But for someone who's been waiting for another book by Bolu Babalola, since I've read Honey and Spice, I was like, yeah, this is basically a sequel to me. So in this book, I think it's like 8 or so, like several years after the events of Honey and Spice. And this is basically a second chance romance, actually, because Kiki and Malachi actually have broken up in between this Honey and Spice and this book. Somehow they're going to come back together. So I'm just like, oh, second chance romance between a couple that I've always already invested in, and now I'm like, wait, how on earth did y'all break up in the first place? I haven't really read any second chance romance books, so I'm very curious on how Bolu Babalola is going to handle this. I trust her. I just don't want to be disappointed. But I love the cover, y'all. I love it so much. I love it. It's just so beautiful. Next up, we have Hot Wax by Amarillo. This comes out September 9th. This is another Amarillo book. I really enjoyed it. If We Were Villains. Graveyard Shift was a miss for me. This one's an adult thriller, though. A vivid and immersive tale of one woman's reckless mission to make sense of the events that shattered her childhood and made her who she is. It takes place in the summer of 1989, and I think it's like more of a... I don't know, it's supposed to take place in like the 90s, basically, actually. Yeah. Or is it 80s? I don't know, but it's rock or something like that. I don't really know too much about it. I'm not trying to look too deeply on it, to be quite honest. But I'm curious. I'm very curious to see how this one's going to work for me. We shall see how it works. I'm not quite a fan of the cover. The cover is fine, but I'm just more curious on the story itself. So we shall see. I know Amarillo can write well, so I'm just going to trust that it'll be a solid book at least. Next up, The Maiden and Her Monster by Maddie Martinez. This, I've been waiting for a cover for a good long minute. I think I mentioned this book in part one. This one, we finally have a cover, and I love it. Again, I am biased to a green cover. I love green. So this cover looks so gorgeous. Now and again, if you don't know, this is an adult historical queer fantasy, and I think it's supposed to be like a retelling or reimagining of the Jewish myth of Golem, and it's sapphic. So that's all I need to know. I don't need to know much else. And this is a debut novel. I've been waiting for a good long minute to at least get the cover, so I'm just glad we finally have a cover, an official release date, and that it's finally coming. So here's a cover for any of y'all who've missed it, and I'm very excited to read it. Next up, another book that comes out September 9th, You Weren't Meant to Be Human by Andrew Joseph White. We have an adult Andrew Joseph White novel, y'all. This is the author of Hell Fall With Us, The Spirit Bits His Teeth, and Compound Fracture. We have an adult book from him, y'all. An adult horror. And my gosh, this book sounds horrifying. I mean, this is basically about a trans man aiding on a covert invasion of a parasitic alien species called Infestation until an unwanted pregnancy puts his own future at risk. And it takes place in the dark corners of Appalachia. So this sounds pretty... Ooh, this is going to sound horrifying. I mean, alien invasion, also a trans man having an unwanted pregnancy. That's going to be added stress there. I think there's some sort of weird bug horror. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to go. I don't know how I'm going to feel about it, y'all. I know one thing is that I don't like bugs. So, ooh, bug horror, I know I'm going to be... Ooh, I know this is going to be... Ooh, I just know this is going to be so good. My gosh, I'm so excited. And I'm so excited for the cover. I mean, I really do like the cover. I think it just works. I like the cover. So, oh gosh, I'm so excited for You Were Meant to Be Human. Oh my gosh. So, yes, so excited to read it. Cannot wait. Literally one of my most anticipated releases of the year. Like, one of many, honestly. Another book coming out September. We have To Clutch a Razor by Veronica Roth. This one comes out September 16th, and this is actually a sequel to When Among Crows, which I read last year and really enjoyed. So I was actually quite surprised he was even going to get a sequel. I did feel like it did leave a little room for a possible sequel. But if you do not know, When Among Crows was an adult fantasy novella that took place in Chicago. I think it's like more contemporary fantasy, and I don't quite remember what else in the synopsis, honestly. But actually, yeah, it has a lot of Slavic folklore, and this one also has Slavic folklore exploring family, duty, and what it means to be a monster. So yeah, we're following Dimitri from like the first novella. We're gonna have Baba Yaga again. So this series is called Cursebreaker. I think I need to reread When Among Crows because I generally don't remember much of that novella. So before I even read To Clutch a Razor, I think I will reread When Among Crows because I don't remember much on that novella. Another book coming out September 16th is one of my most anticipated releases of the year as well. The Golden Boy's Guide to Bipolar by Sonia Reyes. This is the author of The Lesbian's Guide to Catholic School, which is pretty much this book right I'm talking about. It's actually a companion sequel to The Lesbian's Guide, actually. Because we are following Yami's brother. I forgot. What was his name? Caesar. Yes, Caesar. I remember about Caesar. And I'm like, oh, we have a whole book about him. It's him coming to terms with his sexuality because he was having trouble with that in the Lesbian's Guide. And he's got diagnosed with bipolar. So there's a whole bunch of things. And I'm like, yep. I trust Senora Reyes' writing. I'm so here for it. They write such... like really, really good queer contemporary young adult novels. I trust their writing. I trust how they tell a story. So I know I'm going to fucking love this book. So here for it. Definitely a major anticipated release for me. And then also for September, we have A Steeping of Blood by House of Fazel coming out September 23rd. This is the sequel and conclusion in the Blood of Tea series. So the first book was A Tempest of Tea, so now we have the sequel. I really like the cover of the sequel, not gonna lie. It really matches really nicely with the first book, and this is a young adult fantasy. I think it takes place in the same world as the Beyond the Flame series, but in a different city. So it follows the events of what happened in the first book. Yeah, the first book was a heist. The second book, I don't even know if this is gonna be like a heist or not, but I don't know what's going to be happening with the sequel. And I don't want to look too deeply in the synopsis, to be quite honest. So, yeah, I'm just actually pretty excited for it. I didn't love A Tempest of Tea, but I enjoyed it enough. So, I look forward to reading the sequel. And now I have to talk about a lot of books that are coming out September 30th. I don't know what's going on with September 30th, but I'm just looking forward to a lot of books that are coming out that day. So, bear with me, y'all. I'm going to try to speed around my way through this. So, we have 2 books coming out from C.L. Clarke on September 30th. We have 2. One of them is a novella, and that one's called Fate's Bane. It's a queer fantasy novella. It's a tragic sapphic adventure story. I don't want to look too deeply into it, honestly, but it sounds really cool. I love the cover. Again, bias green, but I really love the cover. Oh my gosh, I'm so here for it. I'm like, give me sapphic novella. Like, please give it to me. And it's green, give it to me. I say less. And I've not read anything from C.L. Clarke yet, but I'm very excited to check out Fate's Bane. And then again, another book from C.L. Clarke that's coming out September 30th. The Sovereign. Yes, the 3rd and final book in the Magic of the Lost trilogy. So that's like The Unbroken, The Faithless. We finally have the cover and release date for the 3rd and final book. At first, I thought it was going to come out in April, but we haven't gotten like a cover reveal or anything, so I figured it'd be later. We finally have a cover for The Sovereign, and ooh, that cover, I mean, ooh, very excited for this one, even though I haven't even started reading anything from this author before, but hey, I'm just excited, so what else? I do want to say Dust Settles North by Dina Al-Junaidi. Book has been pushed back to September. I think it was originally in August, but now it's been pushed to September 30th. I have already started reading this one, actually, because I got it as an ER from the publisher. Enjoying my time with this one. I think that's an adult literary fiction set in 2012, post-revolution Egypt, following siblings. So, yeah, I've been enjoying it so far. Y'all know my thoughts about that one whenever I finish it. Another book from Bindery, actually, as well, that's coming out September 30th. Orange Wine by Esperanza Hope Snyder. This one's coming out from the Mariez imprint. Dust Settles South came from Boundless Press. So, Orange Wine is Mariez. This one is actually the first, I think, so far, adult historical literary novel, actually. And I've been very curious about this one because I was like, okay, let me see something from Bindery from the imprints that's historical. So, yes, I think this is takes place in 20th century Colombia. Catholic Church. The main character we're following is the youngest daughter of an Italian nobleman and a Colombian poet. It's just, I think it looks like a character-driven kind of story. So I'm curious to see how I would think about this one. Another one, September 30th. Actually, this is my last book, actually, for September 30th. We have Somebody is Walking on Your Grave, My Cemetery Journeys by Mariana Enriquez, translated by Megan McDowell. So this one, I think is like a memoir? Is this her memoir? Or is it just a collection of essays? Yeah, I think it's just actually a collection of essays that's also part memoir or something about Mariana Enriquez's, I guess, fascination of like graves and cemeteries. Yeah, I don't know if I really like this one, to be honest. I haven't read anything from Mariana Enriquez yet. I've been just keeping my eye out for any of her works, but I've been kind of curious to see what I would think about it. So yeah, we shall see. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it, but I'm just curious about it. Oh wait, actually I have one more book actually for September 30th. I can't believe I almost missed this one. We finally have the 3rd book in the Sworn Soldier series. What Stalks the Deep by T. Kingfisher. Adult horror novella that follows a queer, non-binary character. So this time, Alex Easton is going from I forgot where they were originally to now West Virginia. So yeah, we have an Appalachian horror from Kingfisher, and I'm actually very curious. I'm actually very excited to read this one as well. So I really have been enjoying this series. I've loved what Musa did. I was kind of disappointed in What Feast at Night, but it was still solid enough of a sequel. We'll see about What Sucks It Deep. I'm hoping that it'll be at least an improvement from What Feast at Night. That's it. That's all I have for September. Now let's move on to October. Y'all, I have a lot for October. I have so much for October. I don't know what's with me in October, but I'm just finding so many books that I'm curious about, excited about, anticipating in October, and I'm just here for it. First up, we have Savage Blooms by S.T. Gibson. I think I mentioned this book last time as I'm recording. I don't know what the cover looks like. I don't think the cover is announced. Now, if this video goes up and we have a cover, y'all will get to see the cover before Filming Me even knows about it. So Editing Me, if there's a cover, show it here. If we don't have a cover, I think it's fan art or official art of the book, so I'll just show that instead. But this one is, I think, the first novel in a trilogy, and it's a queer fantasy romance, but it's also erotica. So I'm kind of curious about reading that from St. Gibson, not gonna lie. I'm not one for erotica, but if I have an author that I trust, I'll read erotica. So, curious about it. Comes out October 7th. Also, another book coming out October 7th. We have A Mouthful of Dust by Nava, the 6th installment in the Singing Hills cycle. I'm here for it. I love the cover. I'm so here for it. I'm not looking even at the synopsis. It's just another anticipated release for me. I've been reading all the novellas as they coming out. I'm so excited to read the 6th one, and I'm just here for it. I don't know what else to say. I'm just here for A Mouthful of Dust. Another major anticipated release for me. So another October 7th release this is actually going to be from a debut author, actually. It's called If the Dead Belong Here by Carson Faust. So, the story for this one. So this one's an adult, literary, magical realism, mystery, thriller. So this is a story when a young girl goes missing, the ghosts of the past collide with her family's secrets in a mesmerizing Native American Southern Gothic. That intrigued me. I was like, Southern Gothic? Native American? So I was like, yep, I'm not gonna look too deeply in the synopsis. I'm like, yep, put that in my list, because I'm gonna read it. And also the author is Two-Spirit as well, so something also to know about. And also the author is local. So yeah, and I really like the cover. I think the cover is pretty solid. And then the last book I have here for October 7th, another debut called Herculean by Grace Byron. This one's an adult queer horror novel. Manhunt meets Lord of the Flies in this blistering horror debut following a young trans woman after she arrives at the all-trans girl commune founded by her toxic ex-girlfriend, only to discover that demons, both literal and figurative, haunt her fellow comrades, and she's their next prey. This sounds actually pretty good. I'm not quite a fan of the comp titles, honestly. Manhunt, I've never read from, but I don't want to read anything from that author. Lord of the Flies, I read that one in middle school, and I hated that book. So let's just hope, as far as the comp titles are concerned, it's not going to be too close with this book, because I actually really want to read it. And again, it's mostly green. I like the cover, but I'm hoping that I'm gonna love the book, though. I hope, for my sake. Okay, so now we have books coming out October 14th. First up, we have All That We See or Seem by Ken Liu. We finally have another novel coming from Ken Liu that is not Dayline Dynasty related. So yeah, this one is an adult dystopian sci-fi thriller. This was actually the first book in a trilogy. It follows a former orphan hacker, Julia Z, as she is thrust into a high-stakes adventure where she must use her cybersecurity and hacking skills to unravel a virtual reality mystery, rescue a kid of dream artist, and confront the blurred lines between technology, identity, and the power of shared dreams. Okay, I know I haven't read any novels by Ken Liu. I've only read his short stories, but like, doesn't this sound awesome? It sounds awesome to me. So, I'm here for it. I haven't really read many sci-fi thrillers. I do like the concept of a sci-fi thriller, so the fact that this is written by Ken Liu, I'm like, I'm gonna read. Another book coming out October 14th, we have The Death of Shame by Amos Parry. So this is the 5th and final installment in the Raven and Fisher mystery series. Originally, I did put in I think the date was July 31st. That's actually the title, that's the book's release from the UK. I have the release date for it coming in the United States, actually. So that's really exciting. Although I don't like the fact that it comes very later, though. But I'm glad that I'll at least be able to get it much sooner. Or maybe it is just... No, I don't know. All I know is that as far as United States release date, it's October 14th. I don't know if July 31st is still the release date in the UK or not, but that's what I know. I'm very excited. I like the cover. We finally have a cover for it, and I'm here for it. Another book coming out October 14th is actually from one of Binary Books' imprints. Yeah, so we have Local Heavens by K.M. Fajardo. This one, which imprint was it again? I forgot which imprint it was. So this one is pitched as The Great Gatsby meets Sea of Tranquility, a queer cyberpunk reimagining set in New York City in 2075, which we have Nick being Nick Carraway from the original story, Filipino American, just moved to the heart of New York City and meets Jay Gatsby, the billionaire, and dark secrets and all the things. So yeah, I'm really excited about this one. It's another debut novel, queer sci-fi, and I'm here for it. I'm here for reading more books from debut authors, and I think this is one that I'm actually going to enjoy. I've been seeing this author because the author has made videos on YouTube, actually on Amplitudes specifically, about the process and come up with a story and querying it and all that stuff. So I've been very much curious to finally read the finished product. So looking forward to reading Local Heavens when it comes out this fall. Another book coming out October 14th, we have The Work of Vermin by Heron Ennis. This is the same author as Leech. I've tried to read Leech. I stopped doing it. I still need to come back to it. This one's another pest kind of bug thing. It's adult fantasy though. It might have some horror tendencies though, but I think it's just meant to be a fantasy. I think we're following an exterminator who has to kill pests. So yeah, Work of Vermin. Very curious to see what I will think about this one. I really do like the cover. The cover looks really nice. So looking forward to that. So for October 21st, we have When They Burned the Butterfly by Wenyi Lee. This is an adult queer historical fantasy. I think this is supposed to be a standalone. According to the synopsis, it says that this reads like Sylvia Moreno Garcia meets Fauna Lee with the feverish intensity of R. of Kuang's The Popular Trilogy. So this takes place in Singapore in 1972. Newly independent, a city of immigrants grappling for power in a fast modernizing world. Here, gangsters are the last conduits of the gods their ancestors brought with them, and the back alleys where they fight are the last place where magic has not been assimilated and legislated away. I don't know much else besides that. I mean, there's more to the synopsis, but I don't want to look too much into it. I really, really do like the cover. I've been waiting for the cover reveal for this one, and this one looks really, really good. And I'm just mostly curious about this one. It looks like I think it's the first book in a series. I don't know how many books are supposed to be in this series, so I don't know if this is a duology or a trilogy or what, but I am indeed very excited to check this book out when it comes out on October 21st. Next, Girl Dinner by Avi Blake also comes out October 21st. This one I think is like adult contemporary literary horror of some sort. It's a standalone that's a contemporary dark funny novel about violence, lust, and eating your fill as wealthy moms and sorority girls practicing a sinister new wellness trend. I'm just like, honestly, I found the title to be a little odd when I found that this book was announced, and I was like, okay, Girl Dinner, sure, all right. The cover meets mostly from what I would expect the cover to be. I was like, okay, all right. I'm pretty excited because it's another Alvy Blake title. I'm just not sure how I'm gonna feel about this one. I'm just like, okay. I'm quite excited for author-wise, but as far as the story itself, we shall see how this goes. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it. Another book coming out October 21st, we have The Isle in the Silver Sea by Tasha Seri, and I'm very excited to read this one. This is a standalone, an adult fantasy standalone, and I've been really excited for this one. At first, I think their title was Incandescent or something, and then the title been changed to The Isle, officially been revealed as The Isle in the Silver Sea, and now we have a cover, and I'm super excited. I don't even know what the synopsis is. I'm just looking at that cover, and I'm like, I think it's something about, I forgot what the comic titles was, but one of the comic titles is The Green Knight, and say less. I don't know too much about The Green Knight, but when I looked up what it was, I was like, oh, okay, and it's sapphic. It's a sapphic fantasy, y'all, and I'm here for it, and I love the cover. Like, oh my gosh, I love the cover. And then for October 28th, we do have another binary book. I think this was one, I don't remember if I mentioned this in part 1, but I've been looking for the cover for this one, and it's called Cry Voidbringer by Elaine Hull. This comes out October 28th. This is actually from a new imprint. I don't recall what the imprint is called, but this is a story in which a jaded warrior conscripted by a kingdom battling their imperialist masters accidentally rescues a child whose existence can easily turn the tide of a war, and they must navigate the games kingdoms play while their captors look to reclaim a memory of an empire, while the cities they reconquer don't want their version of liberation. So yeah, this sounds like amazing, and I want to read it as adult fantasy, and I'm like, yeah, this sounds really good. I'm pretty curious about it, not gonna lie. Cover made me very curious as well, because it's like, not what I would expect for a story like this. The cover was not what I expected. So I'm even more curious to read Cry Voidbringer. And then the last book I have, oh wait, no, never mind, sorry, I have 2 more books. So another book, Hazelthorn by C.G. Drews. This is another young adult novel from this author. I read Don't Let the Forest In last year, and this year with Hazelthorn. Standalone, young adult gothic horror. It's also queer. It's this beautiful tale and botanical body horror. Perfect for fans of Andrew Joseph White and We Have Always Lived in the Castle. I'm always here for some body horror. Give me some botanical body horror. I'm even more excited for. And of course, comparing to Andrew Joseph White just makes things even more perfect for me. Like, I love the cover. Oh my gosh, it's just as like gruesome and gritty and unsettling as Don't Let the Forest In. So I'm totally here for it, very, very excited. I'm glad it's coming out on October 28th. And then the last book I have for October is The Everlasting by Alex E. Harrow. As I'm recording, there is no official cover, but we do have a title and release date. The only thing we know is that this is a moving and genre-defying adventure through time, adult fantasy, as a reluctant lady knight and historian with dreams of being a hero will fight to rewrite their tragic fates and finish the greatest legend ever told. Honestly, this sounds actually really cool. The only thing I read from Alex E. Harrow was Starling House, which I did really enjoy. I haven't read anything else by Alex E. Harrow though, just Starling House, but this one made me very curious. I mean, we have another knight book that, I don't know if this is queer or not though, probably not, but I don't know, I guess I'm getting more interested in stories about knights, so that tells you something. But if there is a cover here, y'all get to see what that cover is as recording. I have no idea what that cover is, so editing me, future me, and y'all will get to know if there is one. If not, we'll just have to wait. Hopefully maybe in a couple more months, we'll get the official cover. Now that is it as far as the October releases. Now we need to get into the November releases, which is a new thing for me, not gonna lie. I'm not used to finding books that I'm actually anticipating for November for some reason, but now I have like several. First up, we have As Many Souls as Stars by Natasha Siegel. This is an adult gothic speculative historical romance. It's sapphic and inspired by a Faustian legend. I think it takes place in 1591 in England. We have the Faustian bargain thing. Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited for this one. I'm actually really curious. I've been looking forward to the official cover, and the cover looks really, really nice, and I'm here for it. I don't know much else about this one. It comes out November 4th, and I just want to see what I'm going to think about this one. Another one, Son of the Morning by Akweke Emezi, coming out November 4th. Y'all, this is literally my most anticipated release of 2025. I have been waiting for the release of this book since 2022. I've been waiting for 3 years. 3 years for a book like this. It's an adult gothic paranormal romance where we're following a woman who's touched by power from a clan of matriarchs deep in the American South, and she has a love affair with Lucifer, the devil. What else do I need to know? I'm like, a paranormal romance, a southern gothic from the Akweke Emezi. Ciao. I'm so here for it. And I love the cover. The cover is so gorgeous. I want this book. I need this book. Every time Emezi publishes a book, I'm like, I need you. Like, I need that book. I'm like, yep, I need you. I want to request it so bad. I'm like, ooh, maybe I should ask the publisher to get an art because ciao. And it's gonna be their 10th book, y'all. This is gonna be their 10th book, and it's coming November 4th. I just love it. I don't know what else to say. What am I supposed to say? I just love it, and I'm here for it, okay? It is what it is. Another book, though, I'm also really excited for is The Last Contract of Isako by Fonda Lee. We finally get another Fonda Lee book, and this is the first book in a series. I don't know how long the series is, and we don't really have much on what the book is about. We don't even have a cover for it yet. It's an adult sci-fi, which is new. Well, it's not technically speaking new because like Fonda Lee has written like young adult sci-fi, but I don't think she's written a adult sci-fi, and I'm very much curious about it. Oh, actually, I'm just looking at the acquisition announcement, and it's supposed to be a first book in a duology. So this is the first book with a 2-book series. So looking forward to this one. This one is inspired by samurai movies and Fonda Lee's former business career. This is a Syrian space opera like no other that takes aim squarely at late-stage capitalism. Get ready to meet an aging contractor whose final mission thrusts her deep into a world of espionage and sword fights in an isolated colony planet. What is there to say? I got nothing to say about that because there ain't nothing else to say about it. Another one that I'm also really excited for is the sequel to Immortal Dark, Eternal Ruin by Tigas Gurma. This is a young adult fantasy, the sequel to Immortal Dark, like I said before. Also comes on November 4th. I'm so here for it. We have Kidan, we're still in Yuxley, Senials, we've flown all them characters again. I'm so here for it. I'm here for it. And I really love the cover. Oh my gosh, the cover looks so good. I'm here to continue on with the series. Another anticipated, it's pretty much a major anticipated sequel for me. So very, very excited for that. And another book that I've been really excited, actually, I've been very curious about when we're going to have another book from this author. But this book comes out November 11th. It's called Lucky Seed by Justinian Huang. This is the author of The Emperor in the Endless Palace, a book of which I really enjoyed last year. So we finally have his sophomore novel. This one's an adult contemporary queer lit fic. Succession meets Crazy Rich Asians in this chaotic, darkly funny romp about the lengths a wealthy family will take to ensure the birth of the male heir from the gay black sheep of their clan. An intergenerational family saga inspired by the author's own fatherhood journey as his real-life family's mandatory suggestion. Well, this one, I gotta say, I was like, what? That's the name of your sophomore novel? Lucky Seed? Man, imagine your family needing like you're like a wealthy, rich family, and you're like the black sheep of the family, and you're gay, and then you're like, okay, you need to get an heir. We need an heir. We need a male heir, specifically. So, buddy, you're up. And it's like, what now? Huh? Child, I know this book's gonna be wild. This book is going to be so wild. I'm here for it. I am literally here for anything that this author's gonna put out. So I'm just really excited, and I want to know what I'm gonna think about it. So yeah, if I don't read it in this year, hopefully really early the next year. So really, really excited for Lucky Seed. And then another book here that I'm actually pretty excited about that I've been wondering when, like I've been like having my eye on when this book was going to be coming out. We finally have an official release date, a cover, and pretty much a title change. The book is called The Killing Spell by Sheikh Kuang. I hope I pronounced the author's name correctly. Also comes out November 11th. This is an adult fantasy. Originally the title was In Language There Is Death, but it's no longer that to The Killing Spell. So this one, fantasy debut set in the future where language magic reigns. A young Hawaiian woman must solve a murder to clear her name. So this is written by a native Hawaiian author. I've been really excited to actually check this book out when I found out about this book last year when it was called In Language There Is Death. And then I was wondering when we're going to get a cover or anything. Only to find out that we weren't getting much of anything from the publisher, so I had to look it up and then find the cover. I had to find the cover myself. The publisher did not reveal the cover, so that's that on that. And the title change. Did not know the title officially changed, so there's that. So there's a lot as far as me trying to figure out when this book was even coming out and the title and stuff, but I'm just glad that I was at least able to get information on this book, and really excited actually to check this out. It's a debut novel that I'm really excited for. Like, I'm here for magic about language, so especially a language that I'm not familiar with. So I'm totally here for it. I'm so excited for it and cannot wait to read it when it comes out in November 11th. And now the last book I have for this video, and specifically for this section for November releases, we have The Bookshelf Below by Georgia Summers. This comes out November 18th. Now, this is the author of The City of Stardust. I tried to read The City of Stardust last year. I did DNF it, but I don't think the book was bad or anything. I want to retry it. And then now this is going to be the author's sophomore novel. A disgraced bookseller journeys into a lush, wondrous world of magical books, daily ink magic, and secret societies in this darkly spellbinding standalone fantasy novel. We shall see how I will feel about this one. I'm just mostly curious about it. Want to give this author another chance, and I'm always here about reading books about books, so I feel like this is a safe bet for me. And I also really do like the cover. It really matches it kind of reminds me of like the City of Stardust's cover. Just really excited to check this one out. And that is it, y'all. That is literally all of the releases, all 46 books I have to talk about. Actually, it takes me, it's 47 actually. Yeah, I got miscounted because I forgot about one title. So yeah, 47 books. Ooh, that's a lot, y'all. That is a lot of books to let y'all know about. But also a lot of new covers, and I'm so excited for it. So excited for a lot of these books. Mostly curious about things, excited for a lot of things. I have several mostly anticipated releases. I have the anticipated release coming out this year, and I'm so excited for it. Oh my gosh. But yeah, y'all, that is it. That's all I have for y'all for today. Thank you all for watching this video. Like it if you like it. Subscribe if you're new here, if you want to be notified of more videos from me. Comment down below. What is y'all's most anticipated release of 2025? Is it any of the books that I mentioned? Is there a book that I have not mentioned that I should probably have on my radar? Y'all let me know on anticipated releases if y'all have any. If not, that's fine. If it's any of the books I have in part 2, is there any of these books here that y'all are looking forward to? Maybe did I put a book on your radar that y'all did not know about and you're curious to read in the year or two? Let me know in the comments down below. And you made this far into the video, you're not sure what to say, but you want to leave me an emoji to let me know you're here. Ah, boy, what do we do? You know what? How about you leave a guitar emoji for the couple of books I have about music pop stars and stuff? Why not? Let's put in a guitar emoji to let me know you're here. Thank you all again for coming to this video, and I hope to see you on my next one. Bye.